So let me ask you this. If black people were better off when they lived under conditions that you just named, that you grew up under, why don't you go back?
What
Why
are
don't you go back and live in a tin house with an outhouse if that's the way people that look like you should live? Like, then why are you making it worse for everybody? Why are you making it worse for the white people in your neighborhood? Why don't you go back and live in that tin roof house, wood hut with the outhouse, and start the process of making these neighborhoods great again?
that's a very good question. First of all, I I am gonna buy some land down there in Alabama, and a plantation, and I'm gonna start a new plantation so I can bring the blacks back and teach them to be how to how to work. I have with me Jason Nichols. He is a progressive commentator, columnist, and a full-time lecturer in the African American Study Department at the University of Maryland. Jason is here. Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jesse?
What is, I know you lecture in the African American Study Department at the University of Maryland. What is African American Studies?
So, African American Studies is an interdisciplinary field that looks at the many aspects of life for African Americans, broadly defined. We also have looked a little bit at pre-colonial Africa, but everything that affects people that are known as Black people globally and specifically here in the United States.
And do you celebrate Black History Month or something like that? They have, I believe it's Black History Month in February. Do you celebrate Black History Month?
So we do, or I do, celebrate Black History Month, but one place where we might agree is that I believe that every month is Black History Month, and Black people made history every single month of the year. And in a perfect world, we would have no need for a Black History Month.
And so, do you celebrate White History Month in July?
No, I don't.
Why not? If you celebrate so-called Black history, why not white history?
Because I think white history is celebrated all the time.
How is that? Did you celebrate white history yesterday?
I think we celebrate it all the time. If you're celebrating history in the United States of America, you should celebrate the history that all Americans have made. So in that case, that's the history that white Americans have made, the positive things that they've done. They've done some negative things, but you would celebrate that. You would celebrate the contributions of Black people. You would celebrate the contributions of Asians and Native Americans, because that's all what's made this country what it is.
What did you do yesterday to celebrate white history?
As I told you, Jesse, I didn't celebrate white history.
But why do
It's
people
the first
say
time I've heard of it.
this is the second year? I started it last year in July. This is our second year.
Oh, so you're the founder of White History Month.
Yes.
Okay, all right, congratulations.
Thank you. And the president put on a major parade on White History Month on the 4th of July.
Yeah, well, I think he certainly celebrated White History Month yesterday with some of the tweets and things that he's done.
That was beautiful.
So I would agree with you that he celebrates that stuff.
And so you say that we celebrate white history every day. What did you do yesterday to celebrate white history?
I don't know. I brushed my teeth and made them as white as they possibly could get. So perhaps that's something. I don't know.
I hear people say, especially Black people, they say, well, we celebrate white history every day, but they can never tell me what they did to celebrate white history. It seems to be something that they say, but it's not true.
Well, again, if you're talking about celebration, I would ask you, if you celebrate white history, I would turn that question around on you. What did you do during the month of February? It seemed like you were kind of having trouble even knowing when Black History Month was. What do you do during Black History Month to celebrate Black history?
Nothing, because first of all, there's no such thing as Black history, and then I think that
So
the Black
there's
people who
white history, but there's no Black history.
right. I mean, we have Black people who have died, like Booker T. Washington and others, who have done great things to help make America great. But those are just regular American people, not so-called Black history, right? And these people who are celebrating Black history, people who hate white people, and they're trying to make themselves feel better about hating white people, trying to prove that they're better than whites.
Yeah, so I'm going to disagree there, and I would say if you're talking about White History Month, why would there be a White History Month if you're saying that it's all Americans? Wouldn't this just be American History Month?
Yeah, but white people, as you know, are the founders and creators of the greatest country on the world, on this side of heaven, which is America. And it's unfortunate, but they allowed all these other people to come in. And now these very people that they allowed to be here, the colors, they are now attacking white people. So whenever you mention white history today, it's always in a negative way rather than appreciating white history. But they appreciate a phony history like Black history, which is only an illusion.
So let me ask you this: the coloreds, and would that include you?
Me what?
Like, are you one of the coloreds that the white man has let in?
Well, I was fortunate enough to be born here, and I am an American. I don't see myself as the Black people do. I don't see myself as a into that African American crowd and about into the Black thing. I'm into being right and doing right, and so I don't celebrate that kind of stuff. I appreciate my country and I stand up for my country.
But you created White History Month. Like, why
Right.
would you create that? Why wouldn't you create American History Month if you're trying to say that, one person isn't Black and one person isn't white? Why are you injecting race into it then?
Because white history is American history, and everything else is an illusion. It's not real. So when you're celebrating white history, you are celebrating American history, which include all of the people who love America, who was born here and are citizens of this country.
So let me ask you this. If Black people were better off when they lived under conditions that you just named, that you grew up under, why don't you go back? Why don't you go back and live in a tin house with an outhouse if that's the way people that look like you should live? Like, then why are you making it worse for everybody? Why are you making it worse for the white people in your neighborhood? Why don't you go back and live in that tin roof house, wood hut with the outhouse, and start the process of making these neighborhoods great again?
That's a very good question. First of all, I am going to buy some land down there in Alabama, and I'm a plantation. And I'm gonna start a new plantation so I can bring the Blacks back and teach them to be how to work. Teach them how to work, how to respect, how to love God. Most Black people don't love and believe in God today. Even though they go to church, they don't believe in God, because if they did, you would have 70% of Black babies born out of wedlock. Black men and women hate one another. You wouldn't see the mama ruling the house and the man is weak. Beta males. You would see morality instead of immorality in the Black community if they believed in God.
Thing is, why you have to couple that with, instead of ignore what the white people are doing or saying or whatever and focus on bettering yourself. It sounds like you're saying love white people and white people are the best and this and that, and why not just focus on how can we better yourself? How can we better you? How can you get your feet on the ground rather than this White History Month and white people are so great, and, rather than telling people that.
Well,
you seem like a good message.
I am telling Black people that they need to stop hating, because most black people, including so-called Christians, black Christians, hate white people, and they are blaming white people. They are blaming white people for something that whites are not guilty of. Whites are not guilty at all of the destruction of black people. It's due to the black man being weak, the black woman being angry. She's passing her anger down to the black man's children, turning him away from his father toward her, and causing these boys and girls to rely on others rather than on themselves. And you can't blame white people for that. It's the destruction of the family.
So the destruction of the family, slavery, incarceration, all the things that divided black families, that has no role in the destruction.
It has nothing to do with that at all.
Black families are not destroyed. I have a black family. I'm a father. I'm married. I got 3 kids.
Are you married to a black woman?
I'm married to a black woman.
Amazing. Are you a Democrat?
Yes, I am.
So you vote for the Democratic Party when you vote?
So generally.
Did you vote for the Great White Hope?
No, I don't. Who is the Great White Hope?
The president, President Trump.
Oh, no.
Why
no.
not? Why not?
Because he doesn't stand for the things that I stand for.
So you don't stand for the country?
I stand for health care. I stand for fair immigration. I stand against racial discrimination. I stand for women being treated right. Those are the things I stand for.
Do you stand for the country?
I think that those things are important things to the country. So,
do you stand for the country? Do you put America first?
By supporting those things, I think I support America.
Do you put America first?
How do you support America and you don't support healthcare?
Do you put America first?
As opposed to what? I put God first.
How about America?
I put God first.
Do you put America first?
I put God first.
And do you put America second?
I put America as the nation that I pledged, allegiance to, and that I constantly try to make a better place.
Do you put America second to God?
I put, me personally, I put my wife second to God. But if you want to go down and talk about what nation I put first, of course, I put the United States of America first, and that's why I criticize it, because I want it to be the best nation it can possibly be. I'm not comparing it to, other nations around the world. I'm comparing it to what the potential for the United States is.
Do you love white people? You love white people?
I love humanity.
How about white people?
I love humanity.
How about white people?
I love everybody.
Do you love white people?
I love humanity.
One last time. Do you love white people?
Are white people included? Are they human beings?
I didn't ask about anybody but white people. Do you love white people?
If they're human beings, then yes. If they're not, then maybe we'll have to talk about it.
You don't think that they are human beings?
I think they are.
What do you mean if they are human beings?
I'm saying you're separating them from the rest of humanity. I'm saying I don't necessarily look at it that way. I love all human beings.
But I only asked about white people. If you love white people.
Yeah, I just don't separate people in that way when it comes to this question. If you ask me, do I love people? I'd say yes, I love people.
You are smart, man. You're a professor. You're teaching African history and all that. You got a black wife.
Oh, shoot.
You got African American children.
Yep.
I noticed that black people lead the way in crying racism. And if anybody else come into the country, they cry racism. Black people, not all but most, would jump on board right away. And black people are the #1 haters of other people. They lead the way in hating whites, Mexicans, Japanese, the Italian, anyone that moves. They even hate other black Africans who come here and get an education, get jobs, and make their way. Black people are the most hateful people on earth. Why are they always crying racism when they're the one leading the way in hatred?
I would 100% disagree based on history that black people are the most hateful people in the world. As a matter of fact, I would argue that African Americans are the most loving people.
No.
And
why don't you live in the hood? I bet you won't move to the hood.
You know, I live, a couple miles from where I grew up.
I know where you live. You don't live in the hood.
You know, I live where I grew up. I live in the community, and I'll tell you this.
So why don't you move to the hood with those loving people?
I lived, up until 2017. I lived in the hood.
But you don't live in the hood now.
I don't live in the hood now.
And so, if they so loving, why don't you live with them?
What is the hood?
You know what the hood is.
No,
you ain't that white.
Say what?
You're not that white. You don't know what the hood is. What is the hood? What is a man?
What is a man? I think a man is, however a particular person defines a man.
Is a transgender woman a real man?
So if they're a transgender woman, then they're a woman.
No, meaning that they went from a woman, they took off their woman body part and put on men body parts. Would that make them a man?
So I would say if they define themselves to be men, then if you want to define yourself to be a man, then call yourself a man.
But would you see it as a man?
Yes, I respect people's beliefs.
But in your own heart and mind, would you see it as a man?
Yes.
So you think that's what a man is?
Because I respect people's beliefs and
are
the way they.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not.
Oh, an atheist?
No.
What are you?
I have my own spiritual beliefs.
What's your spiritual belief?
I have a spiritual belief in God. I believe in God, and I don't like to put labels on it.
Do you love black people?
I absolutely love black people.
Why couldn't you say that about white people?
I said I love all people.
No, you said I absolutely love black people. But when I asked you if you love white people, you couldn't say.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It wasn't that I couldn't say.
I just wanted to make
it clear. I wanted to make it clear that I love all people.
But why did you make that clear when I asked about black people?
Because I think you and I have a difference. You love white people, but don't love black people.
I love all people. I love all people, even my enemies.
Yeah, so then we agree.
I love white people. If you had asked me, do you love white people? Yes. But you
I know you would have said yes.
You couldn't say yes. And when you asked about black people, I love black people.